on than consensus is Jaden Hardy. Another 20-year-old 6'4" guard this time. Played for the G League Ignite. He's basically got the exact same birthday as Ryan Rollins, 2 days apart. So they're about to turn 20 a week after the draft. Hardy's numbers are less impressive. 27% shooting from three, although he took a ton of them, almost 6.5 attempts per game. 35% overall on 17 attempts. That's a big usage. But he hit 88% from the line. So if I'm going to ask you that same question about Rollins, we'll talk about why you're down on Hardy in a second, but I just want to get this out of the way. Is he a projectably good shooter in the NBA?
That's honestly something that's in his court because the skill, yes, he should be a good shooter. Like you said, 88% from the free throw line, ridiculously just deep range. I mean, you look at his high school tape and he was shooting from half court. He was taking one dribble in and just pulling it and making him a good amount of time. The problem is in the G League, he just shot terrible shots. And I think he kind of likes it. So ultimately, yes, he has the skill to be it. It's all up to him and how he plays into his NBA role.
So why are you down on him? Because Hardy's range is all over the place. I've seen in mock drafts. And sometimes it's like pick 30, sometimes it's pick 16, sometimes it's pick 14, sometimes it's 22. Like it seems to be all over the place. So where are you sort of positioning him at the moment?
Yeah, I wouldn't touch him in the top 20. You look at these guys who they're very good scorers, but they don't offer a ton of value elsewhere. I think he's actually I want to correct that. He offers value as a playmaker a little bit, but for me, my issue lies in the fact that he's going to turn the ball over a lot. He's going to be horribly inefficient, and I don't think he really separates on drives. Last year, we saw almost an anomaly of this build of a player be a good rookie in the league, and that was Cam Thomas. I think that was a very best case scenario, and I think most guys in that mold don't succeed. But Cam Thomas had projectable traits, the low turnover rate, the free throw percentage was also there. And I think he learned to play within a role very quickly. Hardy's NBA success really just comes down to that. Will he be able to play in a role where he is not the featured scorer and maybe he just is the featured scorer off the bench, something like that? How can he fit in with an NBA team? That's the big question for him.
What do you make of his really low free throw attempt rate? Is that something that we just got to adjust to these guys playing in the G League? Would he have had a higher free throw attempt rate if he had have gone into a college environment? Or is he just someone who's just not adept at drawing contact and drawing fouls?
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it out of the G League. It's tough. I wonder if some of it has to do with. I feel like explosive guys get more foul calls because they're just so much harder to stay in front of, and maybe that was it for him. Was he was trying to dance around guys. He also couldn't beat guys out of just first steps. He didn't explode past anybody. So I wonder how much that had to do with it. I would bank on that being a big part of it.
Defensively, where is he? Is he disaster, solid, like okay, great? Like where does he sit on that end?
The first one, disaster. I project nothing on that end for him.
Is that an effort thing? Is that an IQ thing? Is it a size thing?
A little bit of everything. I'd say almost everything you said is it's a blend. These guys who are pure scorers. Also, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Actually, the G League puts very little emphasis on defense. Two of the more high effort defenders in the G League were his teammates, Marshawn Beauchamp and Dyson Daniels. So maybe it's unfair to him, but I don't think many guys in his mold generally play that way. And you just look at his play style offensively, doesn't really need to. I think his best chance is playing off ball defensively.
The Cam Thomas comp is pretty interesting. We saw Thomas have that role on a very specific sort of team, though. So does Hardy need that sort of role to really succeed? He came into last season as a really highly regarded recruit, through the ESPN high school rankings and all that sort of stuff. But obviously, star has fallen a little bit. Is there still? We've seen a lot of those guys who have come in with that high ranking. I think back to Nasir Little and Cam Reddish, who came in as top 3, top 5 sort of high school guys, and then struggled in their year in college. And this is obviously a little bit different in the G League, but they've never gotten back to anywhere near that level that they had as a prospect coming out of high school. Do we think that Hardy's going down that same sort of path where you don't get that elite prospect, I guess, value back?
Yeah, I think so. Just like even in his best version of himself, if he's a great bench scorer, I mean, he has to be like Lou Will, I think, to really be that, like a generational six man pretty much. And I'm just not confident that something like that'll happen. Just, I mean, I honestly don't know if he's going to make it 10 years in the league. Just if he's not going to be able to score, what's his value? Like, yes, he can pass a little bit, but his game is heavily founded in scoring.